Hey, what up you guys, this is Danny B, you're watching The Trash Stash, and in this video I'm going to be doing my top 10 favorite comic book adaptation movies. So this list is going to be mostly actual, like, straightforward hero or anti-hero type of movies. I'm not going to include anything like Tales from the Crypt, where it's more of like an anthology kind of thing. So I'm very picky about superhero movies. Most of them I really just don't give any kind of time of day to, but there are some that I like. So here's my top 10 favorites of those. And also, this is going to be one film per franchise. All right, so coming up at number 10 is going to be Swamp Thing, the Wes Craven 1982 one. Decent movie. I was more of a fan of the cartoon and stuff, but the movie itself is pretty good. And you got Adrienne Barbeau in there with her big tits, and Swamp Thing is a cool looking creature. And you got David Hess from like Last House on the Left is one of the guys hunting Swamp Thing down, so that's kind of funny. Hey, coming up at number 9 is going to be Barbed Wire with Pam Anderson. Kind of an underrated comic book movie. Maybe not underrated because it's not that great of a movie, but she's pretty badass in it. And I think the main thing I like about this is it really reminds me of the 90s, but this is a pretty cool one aimed at adults. It's kind of like an adaptation of Casablanca a little bit, but yeah, based on the Barbed Wire comics, which I never read, but the movie itself is pretty cool. And you know what? I actually wouldn't mind a sequel to this movie. Pam Anderson was pretty badass in this. All right, coming up at number 8 is going to be Ghost Rider with Nicolas Cage. These are more like the kind of movies that I try to avoid, like the modern Marvel movies that are all rated like PG-13 and stuff. I've seen a couple of them, and most of them I don't like. But this one was actually kind of a pleasant surprise. I actually watched this one for the first time about a week ago, and actually really liked it. Nicolas Cage is good. The CGI is really bad, but it's funny in a way. And then he's going around saying, like, guilty, innocent. I wasn't expecting him to say all that stuff, so it's kind of funny. I haven't seen the sequel. I know there's a sequel. But yeah, Ghost Rider, number 8. All right, coming up at number 7 is going to be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in 1991. So this one is kind of a comedy and a kid's movie, but at the same time, it's actually pretty good drama. Based more on the comic than the cartoon show. And I think this one actually holds up better than the cartoon does. You got very good voice actors as the Turtles, better than the cartoon show in my opinion. So yeah, number 7, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. All right, coming up at number 6 is going to be The Punisher, the 80s one with Dolph Lundgren. I always like this one. I think this is maybe the first rated R superhero movie. They're definitely trying to go for like the Marvel version of like Tim Burton's Batman, but rated R and very brutal. Lots of killings in this movie. The Punisher is like a guy that lives in the sewer, and he's just screaming to God about his dead family and stuff. So I have seen the other Punisher movies. I've seen Warzone and the Thomas Jane one. This one's still my favorite. I do like the Punisher Netflix show better than this, but that's a whole different list of TV shows and stuff. So, but yeah, definitely a dark one, and the ending is very dark. And coming up at number 5 is going to be Joker. And this is the only one that maybe kind of repeats on the franchise, because it's part of the Batman franchise, but at the same time, it's kind of its own thing. Yeah, I love this one because it paid homage to all the like 70s Scorsese and grindhouse movies like Death Wish and stuff like that. Joaquin Phoenix was great in this. I think there's maybe only one part that I didn't really like where he says like, and they won't werewolf or something like that. And I'm like, what the fuck is he like? That's stupid. Other than that, I thought the movie was really good. Directed by Todd Phillips, who did Old School. Yeah, definitely a good one. And I was happy they went like something different with it, more like a crime film than like a superhero movie. All right, coming up at number 4 is going to be Blade. And this one, I saw this when it first came out. I went to the drive-in theater and saw it. And then I haven't seen it in, I think, 26 years or something. I watched it last night, and I forgot how badass it was. I remember it was good, but I didn't remember how good it was. I kind of figured something out. I was like, why does this seem so different than all the other Marvel movies? And it's because it's New Line Cinema. If you look at this list, there's like 4 superhero movies from New Line Cinema. Or maybe not on this list, but there's, they did Blade, and then the Blade sequels, The Mask, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and one other one. But they always, the New Line Cinema is actually really good at doing like these kind of like darker superhero movies. But yeah, this one has a very gritty feel to it. This one's got that bluish filter over like the film. Everything looks blue. And then I think they shot it on location instead of set, so it has a very realistic feel to it. And very violent. And then Blade is cussing and stuff. Yeah, Wesley Snipes is great as Blade. He's got a little bit of Sydney in him from White Men Can't Jump. There's a part where he's like, "Are you out your motherfucking mind?" or something like that. And then Dorf, the bad guy in this, I was trying to figure out who he sounds like. And years ago, before this, he made a movie called Judgment Night. And Dennis Leary was a villain in that. And I kind of figured out he's talking exactly like Dennis Leary's character in that movie. Yeah, that's number 4, Blade. And coming up at number 3 is going to be Spawn. And Spawn is one, I always liked it. When I saw it when it first came out, and I liked it. And I saw it a couple times after that too, and people always said it sucked. But I was like, nah, it's a decent movie. And now I rewatch it, and I loved it. I thought the makeup effects were awesome. I thought everything about the story was awesome. And I forgot Martin Sheen and Melinda Clarke are in this. So you got Martin Sheen and Melinda Clarke from Return of the Living Dead Part 3. And it's a little bit airy, too, about the plot in this. Martin Sheen releases a virus called Heat 16, and he has the vaccine to like only give it to who he wants to give it to, so he holds power over all the states. I was like, is this the fucking, did the pandemic rip off the fucking plot from Spawn? Coming up at number 2 is gonna be The Crow. I always loved The Crow. I rented this when it first came out on video, and yeah, I would watch it every couple years, but I haven't watched it in over 10 years or something, and I've rewatched it, and I forgot how good Brandon Lee was in this. Like, he is absolutely fucking terrifying as the Crow. Like, when he walks into the antique shop and he's talking to the guy, he looks like he's really just out of his mind. And when he's, when Ernie Hudson is holding him at gunpoint, and he goes like, "I say I am dead, and I'm walking." He does, like, the crazy eyes. He's excellent as that. I think, too, this is Ernie Hudson's best acting. And just the overall look of this movie is fantastic. Very dark and gritty. But what I really like about this movie the most is just that it has an element of sadness to it. Like, all the scenes where he kind of talks to the people he used to know in his old life, and they're like, "Is that you, Eric?" And then he kind of just disappears. To me, that's like my favorite stuff from the whole movie. And then the funniest scene ever is the guy that plays, I think his name is Skank, and he's talking about his dead friend, and he's like, just going on a big rant. He's like, "Oh, and then they kill a fun boy, and, oh, here's to you, fun boy," and he takes the drink, and then the boss is like sitting there cracking up laughing. I don't know, that just made me laugh. But yeah, excellent movie, The Crow. And then coming up at number 1, the only one I like better than that is 1989's Batman. Batman is an absolute classic. My favorite version of Batman, my favorite version of the Joker, and then Gotham City just looks awesome. They built this whole set that looks like an actual city that's like a combination of like the 1930s and the 1980s. Very gothic. I think this movie still holds up the best out of all the Batman movies. Maybe Batman Returns. I think they hold up better than the Nolan movies. Those are cool too. And it really just kind of depends on which one you grew up with. But I do think that even at this point, the characters of Batman, or Christian Bale's Batman, people think like, oh, that's not as good as Michael Keaton's Batman now. Yeah, just my favorite version of the Joker, favorite version of Batman, and best like story arc and music, just everything. The shadows in the movie, like the way it's directed, the lighting and everything. Yeah, I always love this one. So that's number 1, Batman. Alright guys, this is Denny B. You're watching The Trash Dish. Hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. Peace out.